Hey everyone, welcome back to Tim the Trailman. I'm Tim, and today I've got a nice short trail for you up in North Georgia. It's got a cool creek crossing as you saw in the intro, and it will be fun, so let's get at it and see how it goes.
We all met up northeast of Atlanta at a local racetrack gas station, and we're heading out to Clayton, Georgia to go to the east side of the town, and today we're rolling 7 deep. So we're going to head out. I'll spare you the trip up there and then show you where we pull in and get ready to air down before hitting the trail. So let's get going. Okay, so we pulled off the main road and headed up the trail here, and this is just about the beginning of where the trailhead would really start. So we all pulled over, and some of us are going to air down, and in a later video I go over why I encourage everyone to air down, even if it's a simple trail and maybe not as wild or rock crawling as you can encounter in other places, but I go over the benefits of it in another video. And once I got out and started videotaping, I realized I never washed Roxanne from the previous trip. And then over here you can see part of the group. We got a GX 460 with us, a monster truck 4Runner, and then another 4Runner in the back there rocking the goat armor, and he is excited to go on the trip. Just a quick walk across this bridge here. You can see this nice stream, and just wanted to give you a little recording of that. Here we've got a Jeep Willie, a 6-inch lifted 4Runner, and then another 4Runner running a lift as well. And so some of them are airing down and some of them aren't. Whether we air down or not, I like to stop right before we hit the trails and gather what our plans are for who's leading and who's doing what on the trail. Okay, so we're off like a herd of turtles. We're all aired down, or some of us are at least, and others chose not to. But we've got our plan. The trail, I believe, is 3 to 4 miles. Somewhere there will be a river that we'll cross and then go on from there and then turn around. This trail is an out-back trail, so let's see what we get into.
Tim the Trailman!
Alrighty, so as we get started here on the trail, remember you can find more content like this on my Instagram and Facebook page at Tim the Trailman. And so as we're getting going, you can see the road is hard packed. It's a gravel surface, and it's like this all the way to the river. You could drive a Camry, a Corolla, a Nissan, a Tesla. You could really drive whatever you want all the way up to the main river crossing. From the main river crossing past that, you're going to need a high clearance 4-wheel drive vehicle. I know that's what you're here to see, so let's skip to the good part and I will show you that main river crossing and what's beyond that. So here we go. Okay, so naturally we get up to the main river crossing and we send the 4Runner with a 6-inch lift up there to check the water levels for us. And then right after that, we send the monster truck 4Runner up there because he's braver than most of us. So they're going to check the water levels, and a few of us have been here before, but not me. And we honestly couldn't remember if the left or the right of the rocks was where to go. So I jump out and wanted to record this with my phone to see which way he went to the left of the rocks and to see how deep it was on his 4Runner to see if we should send everyone else that way or go to the right of the rock. And he did get stuck here on the rocks a little bit and get hung up, but was able to manage pretty easily. And then the black 4Runner went that same direction. The rest of us decided to go to the right of the rocks. Okay, so it's my turn to go in there, and note these rocks to my left. There's two things about them. One, notice how far I am away from them to my left when I'm going this direction across the river. And also note that my friend will be out there on the way back and recording. So as we went across, a few people stayed behind. We convinced them that the trail was not very much longer past this river crossing. So if they wanted to hang out and stay there and videotape us as we came back, we would be right back and not gone too long. And boy, was that a lie, because we ran into a few obstacles that I told everyone else that I wanted to videotape. I'm going to show those to you here in a minute, and then also the end of it where the next river is at. So let's skip to that next river crossing, and that is where you cannot get in the river and you must stay on the Georgia side, not crossing into South Carolina. So here's that view. So this is as far as you can go down this trail, and across the river there is South Carolina, and I was told it's against the law to go in the river with the vehicles or attempt to cross it. And so all around us is some good camping and a little bit of 4-wheeling you could do and get some articulation. We just kind of parked and scattered, and actually behind me there were some people set up and camping. In this next scene, see if you can see where the camera on the tripod is set up as I go through this obstacle, and then I'm going to change to that camera and show you some of the other rides going through the obstacle. Alright, great work if you spotted the camera up in the top left on the hill. I put it there so it would not get destroyed by any of the vehicles, and hopefully it would not get destroyed by any mudslinging. And I'm just going to let this play through so everyone that went through the obstacle could see the articulation. That's one of the fun things about off-roading and going through some of these relatively mild obstacles. You can see how your axle will flex and how much clearance you have before you start revving or destroying things. And the great thing about using the tripod is that the camera could stay there and not put anyone in harm's way or make anyone miss out on the adventure of riding through it. I'm just going to let these play through, and then here in a second you're going to see as I come through, I might have a little bit more of a challenge than some of these other modified 4Runners. Okay, so this one is not as bad as the next one, so just see how the tires slip a little bit. I believe here I hit the A track and get the 4Runner going, and then stay tuned for the next one. It gets a little bit worse, but nothing too crazy. Okay, so you'll see that I stayed to the right compared to all the other 4Runners in the GX, where I believe staying to the left would have got the 4Runner to go down too low when coming out of it and hitting the rear bumper. I didn't want any plastic panels to pop off or cause any damage, so then I ultimately wound up cross-axle. I engaged A-track first, and that didn't work, and my friend in front of me got out and was like, "Dang it, Tim, can't believe you got that stop 4Runner stuck again here in the dirt. What are you doing? I'll help." So about that time, I hit the diff locker in the rear, and the 4Runner just climbed out, and as you can see, all the plastic and bumpers were just fine. And he goes, "Why in the heck did I have to get out and come back and spot you?" We were back at the large river crossing, and I deployed the drone for this crossing so I could get some aerial footage. Going up the rocks was probably a little bit easier and less intimidating for us 4Runner drivers, and so going down it, we each took our time. I sped up the video a little bit here. We didn't have spotters out because everyone was in their rig, and so it's a little bit intimidating, but just be careful, and you can do it with a stock 4Runner, as you know mine is, and then pick your line, whether you want to go to the left side of the rocks, which is a little bit more shallow, or if you wanted to go to the right side of the rocks going this direction, and test your limits of what your 4Runner can do. And so here, just seeing everyone kind of take their time, feel through what the rocks will feel like going down, and then heading into the river. Most of us went to the left side of the rock going the far route, and then a few did go through the right side and then went through the deeper end. Okay, here you can see I get out of my 4Runner and I pick up the remote control to the drone. So be prepared, I fly it across the screen. It's a little jerky, and I left the video in so each person driving that day could see their ride cross the river. And I didn't want to shortchange anyone the opportunity to see what their ride looks like crossing. So please forgive me as the drone is moving and the video is accelerated a little bit. But there you can see the 6-inch 4Runner go across, and then the monster truck 4Runner go to the right side as well. And you can see where it comes up to its hub and is doing just fine. And remember, this was little week that did not have a lot of rain. I've been told it can get a lot worse. And so we're going to position the drone to see myself go across, and I got the remote controller, and that way I can fly the drone back when I get to the other side. So here I go. Alrighty, remember that part about the rocks being so far to my left? You'll see here when I turn to the right that I am a lot closer to the rocks, and then as you saw in the opener, how the water kind of went a little bit higher than I wanted to, so I'm going to cut to the dash cam and show you what that looks like. Not really going over the hood, but it did surprise me, so here it goes. Leave your thoughts in the comments on how you'd be fazed by an event like this, even though it wasn't very major. And as always, this channel is brought to you by viewers, and thank you for the Patreons, and if you'd like to support the channel as well, please head on over to patreon.com/Tim the Trailman. I'm going to leave you here as the video wraps up, but always stay for the extras that I throw in just for you guys. Have a good one.
Yeah, I don't know if that would be too much, like if I'd slide in, but that looks shallower instead of running through this part for me, but I'm not quite sure. I think I got cross-axled.
You can tell where you hit right there.
That tire mark?
Yeah.